In this video we're going to discuss and demonstrate how to use the Get Media Record URL option that is required by some gateways, and this lets you generate a dynamic URL on the fly that the gateway can then use to essentially query fmMMS, find the media record and return the contents of the container field dynamically without you having to export and upload files and worry about all that sort of stuff. So if you're working with a gateway that offers this option, for example the Twilio gateway, you'll see that there's a Get Media Record URL option as one of the media upload methods that are supported. So what you need to do is using the supplied webhooks folder that comes with fmMMS. If you go into your particular gateway that you're working with, in this case Twilio, we'll see that there's two folders for the PHP API and the data API. We're going to use the data API in this demonstration. And there's a number of files in here, and the one we're interested in is this Get Media URL PHP file. So if you have a quick look at this, the main thing you'll need to do is just edit the hostname value to your FileMaker server DNS name, and then upload that to a particular web server that runs PHP that you control, or indeed your FileMaker server if possible. And once you've got the URL to that file, you can then come in here, click into this little configuration screen, and you can copy and paste the URL to that file in there. So I've already done that in terms of editing that file and uploading it, so I'm ready to go. So let's go to contacts. We'll go and create a new MMS to my USA mobile number, and I'll just type a quick message. Here's the house. Oops. Photo you were after, and I'm going to create a new media record, and I'm going to insert a file from my computer into the FileMaker container field. So that's all I need to do. I've got the file or the image into the container field. I don't need to put in a URL because I'm not going to export it and upload it or anything like that. But I do need to submit a URL to Twilio, because they will only send messages by supplying them with a URL to that file. So in this case, I'm going to get FileMaker or fmMMS to generate that dynamically on the fly using that Get Media URL PHP file. So let's just click send message and we'll see how that works. So that's going to go and submit that to the gateway, and you can see it's generated a dynamic URL to that file, and it's got a big long sort of UUID of the file name. And if we were to copy that and preview that in a web browser, we'll see that there's that photo. So we've essentially constructed a URL dynamically that's specific to that media file, references it using the UUID value, so it's extremely hard to guess. And if we check the status of that message, that should be sent by now. In fact, it's delivered. I could just hear that go off on my phone over there. So yeah, that's a very cool way to have files stored in FileMaker container fields but generate a dynamic URL without having to do any export and uploading the files to particular servers. For some gateways, we have a couple of versions of the Get Media file, and one of them does require the file to be sort of downloaded onto the web server itself. So in that case, and our documentation explains when you need to do this, and it's generally only for the data API versions as well, given the way they return images from container fields. We've put a delete media on web server button here as well, and that'll just allow you to clean up files off your web server. If you don't have to do them manually, or have a cron job do it for you, but that essentially references this delete media file as well. So you would have to upload that to your same server, and it'll go and call that, pass in the ID of this media image, and delete the file for you if required. So yeah, that's how you can upload images dynamically, generate a URL on the fly using fmMMS.